Hey, 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 happy Thursday. Come on in because tonight I am going to unbox and take a first look at the Pathfinder Bestiary Battle Cards set. This is a big box. This is a hefty box. And I will be cracking that open in just a bit. So come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer. I am back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Sorry about that. I forgot to say howdy in chat like I usually do when the opening is playing. So that's why I was like looking over like, wait a second, hang on. Anyway, welcome aboard. Tonight is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. This is episode 480 of The Daily Dope. Yes, we are rapidly approaching our 500th episode. Not too shabby. And that's on top of all the interviews and unboxings and first looks and reviews I've done over the years as well. So, not too shabby, I must say. If this is your first time joining me, do want to point out that normally the Daily Dope is just really me talking about the latest tabletop gaming news, telling you what's on the horizon, what's just recently come out. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, news has kind of come out in little dribs and drabs. So what I've been doing is actually sharing unboxings and first looks and page throughs and reviews, done some how to plays. We've even sat down and done actual playthroughs of a couple of games also. Just, having fun, kicking back, blowing off some steam. We'll mention, though, that Monday, I am going to bring back the news format to the show. Looks like we're starting to get a bit more flow as far as news pieces. And for some reason, I don't have any news on a particular day. Figure something out to do. Regardless, this is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. So this is very, very casual, just hanging out, having some fun. That said, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you do, ring that little bell because it will not only notify you when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload standalone videos as well, such as today's Kickstarter preview for Legion of War, a new trading card game that is coming from Eclectic Nerds. It's going to hit Kickstarter tomorrow. So my preview, where I show you a bit of how to play, we take a look at some of the cards, and I give you my overall thoughts on the game. That video came out about 2 hours ago, so that is up right now as well. Do want to also mention, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And since this is a live stream, that means there is chat available. It's available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to follow along with chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, chime in. Maybe there's something about the Pathfinder Bestiary battle cards you want to get a closer look at. Just ask. I will do my best to get that done for you. So far we've got the Madman and Dan from No Enemies here in chat with us so far on this Thursday night. Without further ado, we're going to jump right on into the unboxing because we're going to take a look at some of these cards. We're going to actually take a pretty close look at a lot of the cards. We're not going to look at all 450. So I'm going to point that out for you right now. But we are going to be looking at the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Bestiary Battle Cards box from Paizo Inc. It does include 450 6-inch by 4-inch cards. It does carry an MSRP of $59.99. Let's swing on over to the other camera and we will start taking a look. Let me grab my hobby knife and we'll get this shrink wrap off of here. We were kind of talking about this on last night's show, where my understanding, I'm maybe guessing at this. I'll get rid of the good old shrink wrap there. In fact, you know what? I think I will pop out. Hello, and join us on the video here. But I do believe that what we're going to see is cards where on one side we've got an image of the creature or the monster, and then we flip it over and it's going to give us the stat blocks, which I think would be very, very cool for a game master to be able to utilize, because then if you're running an adventure, you can just take the cards that you need out of the box, put them off to the side. You can share them with the players, and as far as what the creatures, monsters, so on and so forth look like. And then you've got all the information you need on the back of the card. So let's see what it says. Get the most from your monsters. The Pathfinder Bestiary is an excellent tool for planning adventures, but this box of so there are more than 450 cards. Okay. Of over 450 cards presents a new and exciting way for your monsters to leap into action at the table. Each card features a beautiful full-color image of a bestiary monster on one side, while the other side provides that monster's statistics for quick and easy reference. Very cool, like we thought. With each encounter, show the players what their characters are facing while keeping the monster's abilities at the ready, and watch your games come alive. And I keep talking about how this box is pretty hefty. So I'm going to lift the box up just a little bit. You can tell it's not off the table by much. I'm pretty sure the microphone picked that up. Let's open this on up. See what we've got. Ooh, look at that. Nice, big, chunky cards. Very cool. All right, let me grab a quick sip here. Although it does look like the exposure on the camera changed, which I do not want it to do. No, maybe it didn't. Yeah, that was just my imagination. Very cool. So the Madman says, I use the 5e version of monster cards. They really save time, and I could easily show those pics. Beats holding up the book while trying to hide the stats. Yes, or hide the creature's title or name. Because I gotta be honest, when I run role-playing games, fantasy role-playing games, science fiction, horror, I prefer to just describe what the creature is and then let the players try to figure out maybe what it is, or if not, they come up with their own names for them. So it looks like we've got a few stacks of these, and it appears that we may see, okay, so there's our tuck box like so. It's like we might see multiple cards for different monsters. So we've got this stack here. Got this stack here. Oh, I believe they came out like so. I don't want to get them mixed up because, as we can see, like this is from, okay, so it's a dragon. Young blue continued from card 154. Okay, that's cool. So we have 178, 135. So they're going to go like this. Ta-da! Yes, I am a little bit smarter than I look, but not much. So let's see what we've got. Let's get our good old hobby knife back out here. Let's take a look at this stack here. Very cool. I like the size of these. Very, very nice. And you know what? Why don't we zoom on in about as close as we can get to this? There we go. Whoops, as I bumped the camera. I really do have to try to get something that when I touch the camera, it doesn't rock a little bit. But you know what? It's not easy. Not easy when you don't have the cash to spend. All right, so we've got the Aeon Arbiter. Taking a look at this. Ooh, that's cool. That's some nice artwork. And we've got the Stat Black, just like you would see in the second edition Bestiary. It's giving us the size, the various different tags on the creature itself, different tag phrases. Really, geez, this is almost everything that's from the book right there, except for all of the background information about the creature. As I see, Viper Dave has arrived in chat. Good to see you, Viper Dave. Thanks for joining us this Thursday evening. So we've got that Aeon Axiomite. We're getting various different Aeons. Like so. See, now we have this is continued on from the other card. Does it have the same artwork? It does. It does have the same artwork. So that's much more helpful so you don't lose the cards. Get them in the wrong order. I keep flipping over. I just keep wanting to just flip the card over again, as opposed to just flipping it, showing you the artwork, and moving to the next. Malwinius Cyrano is joining us as well. Welcome back, Malwinius. Good to see you. So we've got the faceless creature. You know what? I'll scoot this over so we can actually see both. Do it like that. Let me zoom out just a hair. Just a hair. There we go. So my mug isn't blacking out the card. All right. Kind of zipping through, taking a look at these. Got Angel. A few different angels here. One thing I had noticed with the second edition of Pathfinder was that in a lot of ways, they've gone to a more traditional art style as opposed to first edition had kind of a almost like an anime manga sort of inspired look, which I thought was fine. I personally like this kind of artwork though, much better. So giant statue. Oh, giant statue like of Anubis. Unkrov hive monster. An ape or gorilla. An ape mega primus. Whoa. That's a baddie. Arboreal regent. Arboreal warden. Arboreal awakened tree. I'm just gonna zip through, take a look at these. Yeah, we got time. We can kind of take a look at all of these. Why not, right? We got some time here tonight. Narcon Shield. Azada? I guess that's it. Go. Ooh, the Banshee. Here we go. Oh, nice. I would take a guess. We're probably looking at, because I see we've got some that have the double cards. 400, 375, maybe 400 creatures at this rate. So that's a lot. Oh, we got a couple of bats on the one card. Got a couple of bears on this card. A couple of beetles. Oh, maybe we're going to be about 400 then. different boars. Boggards. This is a scout and a swamp seer. And a warrior. Warrior, come out and play. Ring collector. Which, obviously enough, this has already swung by and picked mine up. I no longer have it. Bear bug thug. That 5 times fast. Bear bug tormentor. Bullets. A bunyip. As opposed to a bunyan. Caligny, or I should say, Caligny creeper. And we have the Caligny dancer. And stalker. Cat leopard. Or I should say cat leopard. Not cat leopard. That's a cat leopard. Lion. Smilodon. Tiger. These are really nice. Nice stock too. Pretty good stock. A little thinner than what you would see for most card games, but not by much. Not by much at all. The Catfolk Pouncer. I believe this originally came out, I think, in January. But the problem was that with the pandemic, all these different avenues of distribution shut down. So I don't know how many people actually were receiving this who had ordered it. Because the funny thing is, when my contact Aaron over at Paizo sent me an email saying, "Hey, I'm sending some stuff to you," I thought, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's probably, you know, whatever's coming out this month." And then this showed up, as well as the chase cards, which I will just simply shoot a standalone little video. Take a look at these. And I believe the chase cards came out in January too. So I understand that there's probably a bit of a backlog as far as getting things out. See, Dan from No Enemies here has to rock on out. Wow, a short visit from Dan tonight. Usually Dan hangs out till about 7:30. Dan's probably like, role-playing game stuff. I'm leaving. Have a great weekend, Dan. I will hopefully see you on Monday. Let's keep taking a peek. We got a Changeling, Chimera, Chul, Cloaca, a Cockatrice, and a Crocodile. So that is that stack there. So Melwinius says, I am not a big fan of the second edition. Got some first edition books, but I like the Pathfinder adventure card games a lot, and you can play them solo. Yes. In fact, I am going to be interviewing Tanya. Gosh, now I can't remember her last name. I talked to her. I interviewed her at Origins last year, and she was the person who was pretty much in charge of the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game Society. And I'm going to interview her next week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, about PaizoCon and how it's going to be online and what you can look forward to during PaizoCon, what's going to be happening. So I actually do like the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game as well. I reviewed it, gave it a good score. What I'm kind of surprised, Melwinius, is that we really haven't heard anything else about it. We had the core game come out, and we had the first adventure pack, and then that's it. And I do understand that the Adventure Card Game Society has monthly releases, but I don't know of any other like adventure path that came out. So that is actually a question I am going to ask Tanya when I interview her next week. All right, so now we're going to take a look at some demons. So we're going to have a variety of demons here to take a peek at. So I have to ask, Melwini, you're not a big fan of second edition. What is it about second edition you don't care for? Just kind of curious. I mean, everybody has their own flavor of role-playing game that they enjoy. The Madman, I know, enjoys Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds is his go-to game. Myself personally, my favorite basic system is the basic role-playing from Chaosium that Call of Cthulhu utilized. So, got some deep gnomes. I'm just kind of curious what it might be about second edition you don't like. When people ask me the difference between 5th edition and Pathfinder, I tend to tell them that Pathfinder is a little crunchier and it has far more opportunities for you to customize your character, whereas 5th edition rule-wise might be a little easier for people to jump into. So yes, the Curse of the Crimson Throne, that was the first adventure pack that was out. Outside of that, and that was a while ago, that was a while back. I am not sure what plans they've got for it. All right, we're still looking at some of the demons. Ooh, pretty wild. Quasit. Shemhazian. Oh, the Succubus. Brock. Zero Magister. Zero Stalker. A Dero Strangler. We move into some different devils. Yeah, I could easily see using these at the game table. And I am not a game master who utilizes a lot of props, I guess we'll say, outside of, of course, with Call of Cthulhu, you're looking at utilizing handouts for the players. But I don't use miniatures. I don't use different decks of cards. But I could certainly see utilizing these. I really could. Like, oh yeah, all right, gang. Here you go. This is what you're going up against. Oh, zoinks! Checking out some dinosaurs here. And I do notice that the dinosaurs are utilizing their traditional names. Get some dogs. Oh, look at that. Good boy. Doppelganger. We're going to get into some dragons here. Like, we're going to have a bunch of dragons because I could have swore, I think we wrap up this pack here with dragons. So we've got adult copper, adult gold, adult green, and red, and silver, and white. Ancient. Now we go to an ancient dragons, black. So, Malwina says that the first edition, they liked it. It was basically a refined 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons. And what you took from reviewers is they left that path. They did. They made Pathfinder 2nd Edition more its own thing, is how I kind of look at it. Original Pathfinder, everybody likes to refer to that as kind of D&D 3.75, whereas 2nd Edition Pathfinder, Paizo really did look to go off in their own direction, kind of create their own game. I gotta give them credit, because they could have easily just simply said, oh, okay, I think we'll just, we'll tweak this, we'll tweak that, and then just go with that. Just like I was super impressed by Starfinder, because with Starfinder, they simply could have said, okay, well, let's just take Pathfinder and we'll plug it into space. And they didn't. They really came up with a lot of new stuff. And it's kind of funny because Starfinder is almost like Pathfinder 1.5 because there were some changes to the core system. I like the second edition Pathfinder, especially if you enjoy fantasy role-playing games that are high fantasy, which has the ability for a lot of customization as far as your characters. Something else that I have to point out that I like about Paizo is that if you're the kind of gamers who play every week, and I have some friends who do play Pathfinder each and every week, you're never at a loss for material because you have the new adventure paths that come out each and every month. So that is something that I kind of knock Wizards of the Coast a little bit, because we normally get an adventure campaign. I like to say campaign. Some people are like, what? Campaign? That's like super old. That term is really old. And it's like, yeah, so. But you have to wait like 6 months for the next batch of adventures to come out. Now, granted, of course, there's loads of stuff available from third-party providers. I get it. But from the actual company itself, not as often. You don't see as much stuff come out. So, but then again, if you're somebody who only plays with a group once a month, then Pathfinder might be coming out with stuff a little too fast. So we're still looking at different dragons here. Now we're looking at young dragons. Kind of flipping on through. Taking a peek at each of these. And hopefully no one out there is going to comment, oh, Jeff, what are you doing, man? The pirates can stop the video every half second and make a screenshot of these. And it's like, yeah, okay. It's like, you don't understand how role-playing game piracy works now, do you? All right, so just popping through these. Hey, you got a great selection of different creatures. I've always been a big fan of bestiaries and monster manuals. And I still remember as a kid sitting there reading through, say, like Dungeons and Dragons monster manual or the Fiend Folio, or even the deities and demigods, and being like, oh, wow, okay, I could see using that in a game, and oh, okay. Of course, I never did. So, but still, I was got a kick out of, reading through and that. Plus, I was also, I think I pointed this out before. I should say, I know I have. I was a bit of a rules lawyer in my youth. So, tended to read all the rules, and I could, a lot of times I'd be like, oh, no, that's not right. Because this rule, 13.7.9-2, we got some different eels. The Edenex. See some elementals. A Cinder Rat. That's kind of cool. Earth Misfit. Avalanche. Hurricane. Inferno. Tsunami. The Fire Mephit. Sip here. Fireworm. Invisible Stalker. Like that too. Living Waterfall. Living Whirlwind. Living Wildfire. Lots of different elementals. Storm Lord. Idle Master. Wow. I was going to say, that is a lot of elementals. Now I get an elephant, and it looks like that is more of a war elephant. And we got a mammoth here. Ether Spider. Yetin. Fairy Dragon. Fleshwarp Drider. Giant Fly Trap. Gargoyles. The Jinn. We got some different genies here. Common Ghosts and a Ghost Mage. Ghoul. The Ghast. Giant Cloud Giant. Giant Cloud. I flip it over. I'm like, okay, so where's the Giant Cloud? I'm like, oh, wait, duh. It's a Cloud Giant, Jeff. Smack. Fire Giant. Then we got our Frost Giant here. Let's continue on. Here's the last show for the week. Why not, right? Dan's already left. We don't have to worry about Dan anymore. Oh, back to more of the giants here. So, Hill Giant. Rune Giant. Stone Giant. Storm Giant. Gibbering Mouther. That looks straight out of Lovecraft. A Gimmerling. I want my $2. I don't know why that just popped in my head. I want my $2. A Knoll Cultist. A Knoll Hunter. Knoll Sergeant. Ah, here come the goblins. I really do like Pathfinder's approach to goblins. They have personality. More so than the old D&D goblins do. Goblin Dog, Goblin Pyro, and War Chanter, and Warrior. We're going to get into different golems. Oh, that's cool. I like that. An alchemical golem. Our traditional clay golem. Flesh golem as well. Iron. Stone. Got Grave Knights. Now we move into some gremlins here. The Griffin. I always thought that was a very cool fantasy creature, the Griffin. The Grim Reaper. Yes, he's popping in. He's swinging. It's Death swinging in from Discworld. Oh, now we got Lesser Death. Speaking of Death, I have actually been rereading Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. Like, yeah, I need something to do. I've been rereading that and Bill Willingham's Fables. I'm actually almost done rereading Fables. Hag, the Harpy, Hellhound, some Hobgoblins. Different kinds of horses. More of a war horse here. Riding pony. Hydra. Hyenas. We'll move into kobolds. Also a fan of kobolds. There's something about kobolds I always liked. Probably because I always got a kick out of the Dungeons and Dragons adventure. The gosh, now off the top of my head, I just ran it for the kids a couple months ago. The sheltering something or other. Slap. In fact, they just had the 5th edition D&D version of it for free to download. So hopefully those of you out there who do run fantasy role-playing games have been taking advantage of the freebies that have been popping up. So hopefully you've been getting your hands on those. Lemia Matriarch. Some Leshies. Demi-Lich. Oh, that's got 3 cards devoted to that. We got the Lich. And we got different Lenorms. Like so. Alright, so we got 2 packs to go. Get this one open as well. Like we've got another card for that Lenorm. Got a few of these. I swear, I thought this said giant filled. I almost started to say a giant filled lizard. It's like, okay. Ah, the lizard folk. And a manticore. Deadly mantis. And a giant mantis. Same picture. Okay. Hey, that's cheating. Medusa. Merfolk. The Mimic. Oh, wow. They actually use a Mimic that's not a treasure chest. Because that's what we almost always... All right, for some strange reason, the stream dropped for a second. Not sure why. Although I will point out, we've had some really lousy weather the past few days. I think that weather is actually starting to hit the east, and so we've got quite a bit of rain and wind. So yeah, it looks like it dropped just for a few seconds. It wasn't a long drop whatsoever. Because I actually had the corner of my eye, I saw a little message pop up saying, "Oh, OBS Studio disconnected." And I looked, and it shows that there's an internet connection. So I figured out it'll be right back, and it was. So we got a Naga, Nightmare, and a Greater Nightmare. Nil, and a Dryad or Nymph. Dryad Queen. A Naiad. And a Naiad Queen. And a giant octopus. Well, fighting a shark. All right, and looks like it is winning. And now on to some ogres. So, Ogre Boss, Ogre Glutton, and a Warrior. Got Black Pudding. The Gelatinous Cube. I always liked gelatinous cubes. I always thought those were pretty cool. Ochre Jelly. And Sewer Ooze. All right, getting into the Orcs. That's the War Chief here we got. The Warrior. I gotta be honest, I've never really understood how to pronounce this. As far as I remember, I haven't flipped it over yet. I haven't looked actually at the text. I think these are like usually like kind of like garbage monsters. Yeah, it looks like he's hanging out in a bunch of trash. But yeah, I don't know. Just Athiag. I know how to pronounce owlbear. There we go. I always get a kick out of how people kind of make fun of the owl bear because kind of it. I mean, if you think about it, it is kind of silly, but it is a pretty cool monster. So, at the Pegasus, we got a Phoenix, Planar Scions, Poltergeist, Braka, Protean, a Void Worm, a Psychopomp, which, if I remember correctly, isn't it Psychopomp someone who, I don't want to say they necessarily worship death, but it's kind of almost like their religion? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. That's kind of creepy, almost Slender Man sort of monster there. Oh yes, these are always the big bads. Oh yeah. All right, some rats here. Rat Swarm and Giant Rat. Rat Folk. The Red Cap. Reef Claw. Rock. Mr. Roper from Three's Company. Oh, I guess not. There you go. Got the Roper. And let's move on to the last one. I think these are very, very cool. I don't know what you folks out there watching live think of these, but I think these are pretty sweet. I think these are pretty nice. Whoa, that is a giant zombie. I'm taking a guess. We'll find out when we get to the last card. Well, we know it's a zombie because it's a Z. We got the Rust Monster. Nice. Yeah. Satyr. Giant Scorpion. A swarm of scorpions. Sea Devil Baron. Sea Devil Brute. And Scout. Hey, Rob German's popping in. Good to see you, Rob. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Sea Serpent. What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow Nose. And a Greater Shadow. The Shambler. A Great White Shark. Then we got a Megalodon. Shining Child. We got the Shoggoth, which of course is Lovecraftian. So Melwinia says, yeah, the designs look great. Paizo always delivers in that regard. What was this? It was a Sin Spawn. So we got skeletons. So that's a skeletal champion, skeletal giant, skeletal horse, a skeletal Hulk, and just a lowly skeleton guard, and a skull taker. One thing I do also notice here is we've got a nice selection of creatures and monsters that are higher level adversaries, higher challenge levels, and others that are lower. So, got a ball python, a ball peen hammer snake, giant anaconda, giant viper, and just regular viper, soulbound doll, sphinx. Here we go. You get into the spiders. Giant tarantula. Goliath spider. Hunting spider. A swarm of spiders. And then we got a sprite. Different sprites. Pixie. A tree raiser. A distant cousin to the Hellraiser. Got the troll. Troll King. The unicorn. Yuthol. Vampire Count. A vampire mastermind. The vampire spawn rogue. Got the warg. A winter wolf. War sworn. Giant wasp. Wasp swarm. The web lurker. The Weemoth. The Wendigo. We get into some were creatures, so we got the were bear. Were rat. The werewolf. Got the whites. Will-o-wisp. Different wolves. Got the wraith. We got the Zulgoth, which are kind of the featured baddies in the latest adventure path, the Extinction Curse. We got a Zulgoth Skulker, a Zulgoth Warrior, which these creatures used to be troglodytes. And for some strange reason, I don't know why, but I guess the term troglodyte isn't PC anymore. I don't know what that means. That's just what I've kind of heard. I don't know why. So that's why these are now called Zulgoths. Zulgath. Got the Yeti. Zeramoon. A zombie plague. Got a zombie brute and shambler. Oh, it's a zombie Hulk. That was the big one that we saw back there. He's zombie Hulk. And that wraps up the battle cards for Pathfinder 2nd edition. So we got a nice sturdy box to place these in. I will put these back in order that I took them out. But yes, most definitely, I can see utilizing these at the game table if I were running a fantasy role-playing game. Even if I weren't running Pathfinder, I could see using these just for the images. But as a game master running 2nd edition Pathfinder, this is super convenient because all you got to do is take the monsters out that you know you're going to be utilizing in that session's adventure and have those off to the side. And you've got all your stat blocks handy for you, and you can flip it on over and say, oh yeah, okay. So obviously that's a giant, right? So that is everything we see when we take all the cards out from the Pathfinder Bestiary battle cards. As I mentioned, this was coming out in January. I believe this made it out into stores before the pandemic hit. I am not positive, but the fine folks at Pathfinder were kind enough to send me a copy. So they may be behind on getting stuff out because, of course, the various different paths of distribution had fallen apart. So, you know, Diamond, which owns Alliance, they were shut down. PHX, which they actually have a warehouse here in the Chicago area, they were shut down. So I do believe that out in the Seattle area, which is where Redmond, Washington is, which is where Paizo Inc. is located, I think they do have some folks working warehouses there, or the warehouse there. So I believe this is how this made its way to me, because Alliance is still closed, and so is THX and everybody else, as far as I understand, who is part of a distribution network for games, including Asmodee. They're not shipping stuff either. But very cool. I really did like that. That was very, very nice. So, strangely enough, I guess that's kind of our review, right? So, I can't imagine going through showing these all off again. Well, I would definitely say, if I were going to give this a score of 1 to 10, we're probably looking at a good old like 9.5, say a 9.2, because I could really see getting a lot of use out of the battle cards. All right, so a couple of things I want to point out before I wrap up the show. Sunday afternoon, I am going to be recording a 0 episode for Traveler. Yes, we are going to try our hand at Traveler using Fantasy Grounds, kind of using Fantasy Grounds. And of course, joining me will be my best friend, Elliot Miller. His son, Brian, is on board. And we should once again see my nephew, Cameron, as well as his girlfriend, Lexi, who were part of the Call of Cthulhu adventure that we had played. So that'll be Sunday. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday, I'll have that up. You can take a peek at it. Once again, I'm not sitting there. I don't expect people to be like watching it like, oh boy, I can't wait till the next episode. But kind of check it out if you are interested in learning more about how you can kind of remotely play role-playing games utilizing Fantasy Grounds. And if you want to like record it for your own entertainment or to upload it to, say, YouTube or something like that, by all means, definitely check it out. Well, Melvinius is like Traveler. Yes! Although it'll be me running it, so I don't know. Actually, I was looking for something a bit more action-packed. Like, I could kind of tell that Cameron and his girlfriend were sort of left in the dust by the investigative aspect of Call of Cthulhu, and Elliot was kind of taking the lead, so you can kind of see where they were like kind of sitting back, letting him kind of say, oh, we're going to do this, let's go do this, let's do that, which I don't think we'll see so much in Traveler, especially since if they end up with a starship, each person usually has their own specific duty on the ship that they have to take care of and roll against in battles and stuff like that. So that is going to be on Sunday. So look for that next week. Also want to point out, there are some freebies available right now if you're into PC games. So right now you can get Total War Shogun 2 absolutely free from Steam until, I think it's only until tomorrow. So I think tonight might be the last day you can download that. And yes, I know the game's about 9 years old, but it's still a pretty damn good game, even being 9 years old. Also, over on the Epic Game Store, it's Thursday. That means we got the new freebies. There's 2. It's Amnesia, The Dark Descent, which is a first-person horror game. And then Crashlands, which is, I guess, a kind of science fiction game that's very, very hard to define. Looks like it could be fun, so I'm probably going to be messing around with that a little bit. And of course, also want to point out, Monday will see the return of the news format here for the Daily Dope. Hopefully we got some news to report. I will also be including interviews as well. So we will still be doing interviews as part of the Daily Dope. I'm trying to do maybe 1 interview a week at least, because it's going to be much tougher for these companies to get their games in front of people without any conventions and that. A lot of people don't realize those demos that people have really do sell the games. They really, really do. Not necessarily always right there at the convention, sometimes after the fact. Because I do know of people who go to conventions, they play games, and they don't want to buy a game right there at the convention because they're like, oh, I don't know, I might need this money later on down the line here at the con. Well, once the convention's over, they go home and they buy it either from their friendly local game store or they go online and buy it. Well, that's an avenue that's not going to be available to pretty much just about every game company out there right now. And we don't know if we're going to see that opportunity arise again in 2020. So doing my best to do some interviews, things like that, help some of these companies out. Not that I think Paizo needs it, but plus I think it'd be kind of cool to talk about what's going on with the Paizo Con Online, which is taking place towards the end of May. So Melwinius points out, I'm waiting for my store to get GMT's The Hunted and the Hunters. Yes, which is actually Consim World Press. I've got reviews of them. Check out the reviews. Some people don't like the randomness of them. I liked it. I enjoyed them. Then again, I was also a fan of B-17 from Avalon Hill, B-17 Queen of the Skies, which is kind of basically just a bunch of charts you're rolling on. But I had a good time. We played the hell out of it. Back in the day, we actually used to play multiplayer games of B-17 where we would actually combine our copies. So we'd be flights of B-17s. We'd be in the midst of a flight of B-17s. So, very cool. All right. That's it for tonight's show. Of course, before I wrap up, I do want to point out, once again, I want to say a big thank you to everybody out there who's going the extra mile to keep us safe, keep us fed, keep us supplied. So thank you to all the doctors and nurses, EMTs, police officers, firefighters, grocery store employees, gas station attendants, fast food workers, truck drivers, everybody who is out there risking themselves to make sure that those of us who are still sheltering in place are able to stay fed and stay supplied. So thank you very, very much. Those of you who watch live, company in chat, thank you also. So that way I'm not just sitting here talking to myself in front of a camera. Anyway, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. If you do, ring that little bell. It will not only notify you when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights here on YouTube, it'll also tell you when I upload my standalone videos, such as today's preview of the Legion of War Kickstarter, which kicks off tomorrow. And of course, if you watch after the fact, hey, I got a soft spot in my heart as well for you folks too. And when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody enjoy your weekend because I don't do shows on Fridays. I will see you next month, which is actually just next Monday anyway. But everybody enjoy your Thursday night / Friday mornings. And until I see you next week, be smart, stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.